What's going on, guys? Minicall here coming at you with another video. This is in regards to the difficulty that is Dark Dimension 3. I know a lot of people are starting to complete Dark Dimension 1 and 2, and just there's been some questions on to kind of, what it's like. So at the time of recording this video, I've been in Dark Dimension for 42 days, 4 hours, 43 minutes, and 57 seconds. This is my second run through, which typically the second run through normally goes a little bit faster. Just kind of scrolling through here, you can kind of see roughly how many attacks I've done on certain nodes. And I mean, honestly, the first 4 nodes aren't really all that bad, and the first 2 nodes of the global campaign aren't too terrible. But then when you start getting into nodes 3 and 4 of the global campaign, it's really when it kind of just becomes a bit of a nightmare, and just the enemies are just kind of, their health pools are very inflated, their damage is pretty crazy. So anyway, so here is basically, I do have kind of 2 teams I take in for Attack 1 and Attack 2. The first team being primarily Phoenix, Mr. Sinister, Emma, also Colossus, and then Yellow Jacket. And basically the whole concept of this team really is just to kind of get Phoenix to do her ultimate. Mr. Sinister can kind of clone sometimes the right person. Yellow Jacket is kind of proving to be a pretty cool character when he does get to attack, just because his special does 20% damage, which is really kind of cool in these type of attacks, especially where these enemies have such inflated health pools. So just kind of going in with this node in particular, I'm kind of targeting, I want to get rid of the Falcon first, just because Falcon with his special, giving his team speed up, really just kind of gives my team almost no opportunity to attack. So the other thing kind of you want to look at too is when you're choosing your Dark Dimension team, especially for Dark Dimension 3, a lot of the times you're probably only going to maybe get, 1 attack in per character. So typically you want to avoid characters that have very long cooldowns, just because, they'll do that 1 attack, and if you say it's a 6 or 7 turn cooldown, you're not going to be able to do that attack for another 6 or 7 days. So that's kind of why when I did this initially, I brought Ultron in thinking that it was going to be similar to Dark Dimension 2, and Ultron has very long cooldowns. And he's not the best character for Dark Dimension 3. Sinister is pretty cool, so you did see I did clone the Falcon there, and that's because the enemy has a lot of buffs on them, so I wanted to be able to kind of get as many attacks off as possible. Falcon's ultimate also, the more buffs the enemy has, the more damage it does. And, ideally, the faster your team can go, the better. Like I said, these enemies, they are going to hit really, really hard, and they have like crazy high health pools. Just from the barrier alone, really not much damage. And so kind of looking in with this particular team, my primary target, like I said, is Falcon. And then once I am able to get Falcon down, I will then switch over to Rescue, will be my next target, just because she has that component of both healing and, creating those barriers based off of her health. And again, because they have such high health pools, I don't want them getting any more health than they already do. So I did this down at 1 speed, just because these fights go super fast if it's on 3 times speed, and I really wouldn't be able to get much talking in. So I slowed it down. Also, you can kind of just see how much damage the enemies are doing. Iron Man right there just hit for 80k for his AoE. War Machine right there is hitting several times for 44k. My clone Falcon is long dead, and so that's just kind of one of the bigger problems with Dark Dimension 3 is just how hard the enemy hits. In the past, I would have Phoenix go into the, where she stealths everyone and kind of cuts her health pool, but the problem with that is then she dies pretty quickly. You'll see there, I just did manage to get Yellow Jacket's special off, and because they have such high health pools, that attack just actually hit for 300k, and that's only 20% of the character's total health. So, kind of do the math, the characters have quite a bit of HP. But at this point, we are probably, I think around this point, I actually started wiping. So my Phoenix is getting ready to die, which, you know, ultimately is kind of the goal. You want her to go into Dark Phoenix mode, where then she gets her special and her ultimate off. And that's kind of just really the way these last two global nodes work, is that you just kind of have to slowly chip away at the enemy's health. I wish I could say that there was something more strategic or, you know, something more kind of foolproof, but it's really just kind of a very slow process of, you know, eventually you'll get them down. My Phoenix did just die, so I think I was actually able to get her special and ultimate off on this one. Other characters that are really good for Dark Dimension, any character that has any percentage-based damage is always going to be, you know, really good. So I'm actually currently working on getting Ghost up so she can actually go into this mode as well. And as soon as I finish getting the rest of my Pym Tech up, if I am still on this global node, I will certainly test out Pym Tech in the Dark Dimension 3. But as of right now, I'm not ready to give a full endorsement yet to the other 3 members of the Pym Tech team. I don't want anyone wasting resources. I'd rather do that myself, you know, as I am planning to take them to Dark Dimension 4 anyway. So as of right now, I would say Ghost and Yellow Jacket are acceptable for Dark Dimension 3. So you just see there, I did just wipe through, went pretty quickly. I was getting punched on time. I was actually at work, so I went in with my second team, and I want to say I did this one at 3 times speed, and you'll just see how quickly the fight goes. You know, like I said, I do have an Ultron built up. Again, kind of a mistake on my part. So, I mean, if you are building him up just for utility use, absolutely. But if you're building him specifically for Dark Dimension 3, I would kind of advise against that. This is a smaller team. Since I don't really have any like real healers on the enemy's team, I don't mind going in. You saw right there, Ultron just got one-shotted, and the rest of the fight is going to go pretty quickly. Boom, and that is that pretty much. So that's how quickly a fight can go on 3 times speed. That's kind of why I'm saying Dark Dimension 3 is a whole different beast. If y'all have any additional questions about Dark Dimension 3, certainly feel free to reach out to me on either Discord at Khaleesi or in-game at any of the 3 accounts. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this answered up some of the questions, and if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.